In today's video, we are going to see how we can data bind or dynamically pass various values into select boxes, which is nothing but multi-select check boxes, and pass the selected items outside. So let's start today's big learning in short videos. Before starting, ensure that you have the form activities installed. To check that, you can go to manage packages, and in project dependencies there should be UiPath form.activities. If this is not present, then search it in all packages and ensure to install and save it so that we can have the form activity available for use. So let's drag the create form activity, and over here we'll open the form designer. As we want to have multiple checkboxes, for that remember that we should drag the select boxes and not the check boxes. So we have to drag the select boxes component into this area, and the label shows select boxes. So we will write a message like select multiple options, and then the data, it will not let us save unless we give some value. So let's just give any random value. Then the field key is important, as we have to use the exact property name or the field key name in order to map the arguments so that we can pass on the values externally, which has to be displayed in the various checkboxes, and what are the values which has been selected has to be passed out so that it can be used in the subsequent activities. So we have to copy the exact property name and then click on save. Click save over here as well and close the designer. Now there is something data bindings, and under that forms fields collection. So we have to click over here in order to specify the input argument and the output argument. So whatever property name we had copied, we have to paste the exact one over here, and then with an underscore and all small case we have to write drop down. The drop down should be in all small cases with an underscore appended to the property name. The direction will be in, and again here we can have it in two ways, either through a dictionary or through a list of strings similar to the radio buttons. So you can also refer the radio buttons dynamic data binding video, which will be flashing now, to see both the methods. So let's select the type as a list of string. For that, we'll browse for the types and search for list, and here we get the list, and then it will be a list of string. So select string over here and click OK. So I have a list of strings which I'll put, and we can see we can set the values new list, off string, new string, and we have all the values which we are passing, option 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, which will be displayed on the screen. And then we will use an out argument. For out argument, again we are using the same property name, which will be select multiple options, and the direction will be out. The output in this case will be stored in a dictionary. So we have to map it to a dictionary variable. So for that we will browse dictionary. So systems collections generic dictionary we will select, and then it has to be a string, and the value will be in the form of a boolean, true or false. So the output will be stored in a dictionary of string and boolean, where string will be the key and boolean will be the value. So let's click on OK, and then we have to assign it to another variable of dictionary string boolean type so that it can be passed out and can be used. So let's press Ctrl K and the variable name is result. Click OK. Let's double check what is the type of the result. So yes, the result variable has got created of type dictionary, string and boolean. So that's done. Now we want to see the results. To see the results of a dictionary, we need to iterate it through using a for loop and show the items. So for that, what we can do is let's get a for activity. So the for each activity under workflow control, we need to drag it over here and then specify our dictionary, which is result. And then in the body, we need to log the message. So let's pull the log message activity, and then over here we'll show the item to string. But here we need to ensure that the type argument, which is currently set as object, it should be a generic key value pair, not even a dictionary. It should be a key value pair. So this is very important that whenever we iterate through a dictionary, the type argument should be specified as a key value pair, not a dictionary. So search for key value pair and select it, and here it will be same as the dictionary, which is string. The key will be a string and the value is a boolean. And now click on OK. Now let's run through and see how the result looks. Okay, so the form has come up with all the different options 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here in this case we can select multiple check boxes. That's perfect as expected. Now let's submit. Okay, and the execution has completed. Now let's check how the result has come up. For that, let's open the output, and here we can see for each of it in the dictionary output, the results dictionary has a option 1 and it has false. We had selected option 2 and 4, so hence we can see that option 2 is marked as true and option 4 as marked as true. Rest all has marked as false. So in this way we can iterate through the dictionary and filter out using a if condition which has been marked as true, and then take it further. Now also let's quickly check how we can do this when the input is in the form of a dictionary instead of a list of strings. So let's modify the same form. In the same form, the inside part will remain same except for the data bindings forms with collections. We have to change the type. So here if we select a dictionary, so we have to select a dictionary and specify the key as a string and the value also a string, and then click on OK. And here we have to initialize it with a dictionary and it will look something like this. If I expand and show it to you. So new dictionary of string from, and we'll have the key value pairs. So the value will be displayed on the form. So all the values which are present in the dictionary will be shown on the select boxes, and from there the user can select. So now let's click OK and run the bot and see how does the results look. So perfect, we got again the same kind. The values which are present in the input dictionary are displayed over here, from which the user can select. Let's select option 1 and 3 and submit it. And see the results, will go to the output pane and see that here we are seeing the opt1 and opt3 are marked as true. So from this we can make out that when we are making the input as a dictionary, the values which are present in the input dictionary will be displayed on the form for the user to make the choices. However, when we see the results, the output will be stored. In that case, the keys will be selected and mapped with the boolean true or false, whichever are marked as checked, those will be showed as true, and the keys which have not been marked as checked, those will be shown as false. So the form will show the values of the input dictionary, and the result we will have the keys mapped with the true or false boolean values. So the key important summaries in this case we have to remember is, whenever we have iterating a dictionary, we should mark the type argument as system collection key value pair, and it should be the string and boolean in this case, similar to the dictionary. Then we have to remember that the input argument, we have to name it same as the property name appended with the underscore drop down in case of the input, and the output should match the same as the property name. And we can make the input in the form of two ways, either a list of strings or a dictionary, and the output in case of select boxes are always in the form of a dictionary with of string and the boolean, where whichever checkboxes are marked as true will have true, and the whichever are marked as false will have the false. Saying this, hope this video was helpful to you. So in order to see how dynamically radio buttons are mapped, you can check the video which is currently being flashed. So stay tuned for more such videos, and happy learning. Thank you.